Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. How many fucking takes is this?
Yeah, we've had to start and stop a few times, Jen.
Now I'm just like looking at you trying to make you break.
I was fidgety. Jen had an itch on her neck, and yeah. But
Yeah,
we're
so itchy.
But we're back. We're ready to roll.
I'm
We're
gonna
back.
take Benadryl,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can get this done before I fall asleep from the Benadryl.
We are back from Arizona. We had a great summit/convention last week with our fitness franchise.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
Awesome
a great meeting.
time.
And we'll have some podcasts that come out of that.
Yeah.
But we already have one kind of that we want to talk about even before we left. And we've done episodes like this before. But this is the type of person that we attract to our businesses. So it's worth revisiting and putting it out here on a free podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely worth revisiting because the people that listen to us, y'all, we see you. You guys are high achievers, right? You're doing some great stuff, but you're looking to get to the next level.
Yeah, this person, you, is driven. You're responsible. You get things done, and from the outside, everything looks really solid. Things are moving well. Your business is moving well. Your family's taken care of. You're showing up, but underneath that, you're exhausted, and it's not just physically, but it's also mentally because everything feels like it all depends on you.
Yeah, and if they don't stay on top of it, it slips.
Yep.
Yeah, if they don't do it, it doesn't get done right. That sounds familiar. If they let go, things fall apart. So they grip tighter. They manage more. They control more. They take on more.
Yeah, and for a while this works because it does work for a while. But that's the trap. I want you to listen really closely because the same behavior that built your life becomes the one that caps it. Let that sink in. What you got you to where you're at right now is not going to get you to the next level. You know, at first it just feels like you're busy or you've got a lot going on or this is a season of life. But if you zoom out, before you zoom out, if any of the things we said hit you and you're saying, yeah, that's me, it probably did. I want you to zoom out. You're going to realize something uncomfortable when you do that. You're not overwhelmed because there's too much to do. You're overwhelmed because you're doing too much of what doesn't require you.
And deep down, you know it. Guys, we're going autobiographical, right? This is Gen 101 right here. You have help. You have resources. You have people, but you are still holding on to everything.
Yeah, and we call that white-knuckling it. You are white-knuckling. And here's the shift. You're not busy. You're the bottleneck. And if you're the bottleneck, where is that showing up in your life?
Yeah. I had a conversation recently that stuck with me. A client said that I've been following you for years. I know what to do, but I still feel like I don't fully commit. So I asked her why. And she said something it made me pause because it was so completely honest, right? She said, I don't fully understand it, so I don't fully trust it. It seems too simple to be true. But that's when it clicked, right? Because from the outside, she's doing all the right things. She's checking all the boxes. She's in the workouts. She's trying to follow the plan. She's showing up. But underneath it, she's still holding on. She's second-guessing the process. She's tweaking things on her own. Yeah, I know you are. She's adding in extra when she feels behind. And she's pulling back when she's unsure. And it's not because she's lazy or she thinks that I'm not the expert, but it's because she doesn't fully trust what she's doing. So she never lets the system work. Have you ever been in a fitness program like that? Where you know you got to give it 16 weeks minimum, but by week 10, you're like, I don't know. And I see it all the time, right? People say they want the results, but they're still trying to control the outcome the entire time. They want the proof before they can commit. Once we get them to that first milestone, Matt, do you remember how many people come back and actually say, well, this is what I actually wanted, but I didn't think you could get me there?
Yep.
Like, we were wasting time, right? They want proof before they commit. They want certainty before they trust the program or the plan. But it doesn't work like that, y'all. Because if you're constantly adjusting, if you're constantly questioning, or constantly trying to do it your own way, you're not following a system. You're white-knuckling the result. Man, this describes me and my franchise the first 5 years. Holy shit.
We don't run our business that way anymore.
No, we're good. But the shift isn't in doing more, right? It's actually the opposite. It's slowing down. It's asking better questions. It's understanding the why behind what we're doing. There's a process that I take every single one of my transformations through. And if you don't fully understand what quote unquote phase or season you're in, it's okay. Ask. And then make the decision. I'm going to follow this, even when I don't feel in control. Because that's when things change. Not because I changed the plan. Not because I changed my system, but because her approach did. So you don't need more information to get results. You need enough understanding to trust the process and the discipline to stop overriding it.
Yeah, let me take it from a different angle. That's a great fitness one. I want to take it from the business angle. You know, business or investing or whatever it is. It looks like you're holding on to decisions too long. I think we've all done that. We just didn't want to make the wrong decision, so we hold on to it too long. Or you don't trust people to execute for you that work for you or that are part of your team, and you hesitate. Or worse, you never get in the game. And that's probably the big one. And I want to give you a real example. You gave an example of a client. I want to give you an example. So when I get, and I want you to think about whatever you're doing, and it doesn't even have to be business. It could be fitness, I guess. You can relate this to anything, but whenever I get an apartment complex under contract, what I do is I'll reach out to people that I know and I'll say, hey, here's an opportunity. Take a look at it. If it fits for you, there's zero pressure, no selling. It's just, does this align with where you're at right now? And I will tell you, a lot of times it doesn't. And that's fine. The timing may not be right for that person. They may not have capital to invest at that time. They may be investing in something else. I mean, look at me right now. If someone called me and had an opportunity to do something, I would have to say, no, the timing's bad. I'm currently under contract and I'm putting money into another deal. I fit all those. The timing's bad. I don't have the capital to do it. So those are legit reasons. And even sometimes it's a stage of life. Someone who's deep into retirement, things are already working for them, and it doesn't make sense to take on another investment that may be a little bit more risky than what they're doing right now. And again, all that is completely valid. There is no judgment. I told you, I'm in that area right now.
Yeah.
But then there's another category, and this is where I want people to see where this relates. There's this one guy that I stay in touch with. I stay in touch with a lot of people regularly. There's this one guy that I stay in touch with regularly. He is super successful. He has built businesses in a few different industries. He knows how to operate. He knows how to build. And every time I send him an opportunity, he looks at it, he understands it, he sees the returns, and he passes. All good. But then a few months later, we'll be talking just about something, and he'll bring up, man, I wish I would have gotten in on that last one that you did. And then the next opportunity comes, and the same thing happens again. And here's the reality. It's not a knowledge problem, and it's not an intelligence problem. It's that same behavior that made him successful that is capping him right now. Mm-hmm. Being overcautious, being overcalculated, waiting to fully understand everything about it. And now that is holding him back. The same behavior that built your life is now the one that's limiting it. Now, I want to be very clear here. I'm not saying be reckless. These aren't forced decisions, and it's definitely this. You should invest in something that doesn't fit your situation. Good investors are cautious. They ask questions. They understand what's going on. They look at the risk. That's what you should do. But there's a difference between being cautious and never getting clarity. There's a big difference between evaluating something and staying on the sideline forever.
I feel like this is where it gets deeper, right? Because it's not just about tasks. It's about identity. Isn't that so funny? Every single one of our fucking episodes boils down to identity.
Yeah.
Interesting. But when you've built your life on being the one who has the most grit and hustle in the room. Letting go feels like losing control. Guys, if you're just listening to this and not on YouTube watching the video, I'm pointing at myself. This was big for me. And my franchiser, shit, how many years did Megan? She's like, you got to stop white-knuckling, Jim. Yeah. Totally. No, I never did. When you've built your life being the one who does everything, Mom, letting go feels like losing control. And if you lose control, who are you? A lot of high performers tie their value to being needed. A lot of parents do this.
Yep.
Being involved, being the one that holds it all together, right?
Yeah, so even when they should let go, they don't. They grip tighter. And that's where that exhaustion comes in. And that's where growth stops. So the question becomes, how do you step into mastery? How do you do this without falling apart? Because this is hard. We know it's hard. Jen just talked about
did it again last week.
Franchising. It's very hard. So there's a few steps you can take. And the first one is that we firmly believe in is do a time study. And this is really a non-negotiable.
And if you did a time study like with me like 4 years ago, do it again.
Do it again. Things change.
Yeah.
You cannot fix what you have not measured. That is why we measure macros, we measure weights, we measure P&Ls, we measure everything's about the numbers. And then you take a look at all of it and that gives you an idea. But you cannot fix what you have not measured. So that's why you do a time study. Track everything for 1 week and just do the best you can. You're a busy person. I know this could be tough, but it's worth it for doing it for 1 week. You track your work tasks, your admin tasks, your meetings, your texts, your family things, even your mental load. You do that all for 1 week.
Yeah. Most people feel overwhelmed, but they've never actually seen where their time is going. And I'm not sitting here like, we're not going to start judging you on 2 hours of doom scrolling a week. Look at everything you're doing and how much time it takes you.
Yeah. Step 2, we'll just reiterate what Jen said. It's not about shaming anyone for doing something like that. Because here's step 2. You take all those things and you put them into categories. There's 4 categories. You do, you delegate, you automate, and you delete. Do, this is only you. This is what you're doing. Delegate, someone else can do it. That's really what about that time study is. Who else can do it? Who else can mow your lawn? Who else can do follow-up emails, things like that? And then the automate is you put a system in place that makes it automated. And then the delete is you shouldn't have been doing it at all.
Yeah.
You should never have been doing it.
Yeah. This is where people get uncomfortable, right? Because they realize they've been spending most of their time in the wrong categories. So let's keep moving.
Yeah. So step 3, that was step 1 was the time study. Step 2 is dividing into 4 categories. And then step 3 is if when you divide it in that 4 categories and you find someone who can do it 80% as well as you.
This is hard. This is the hard one. It's so hard.
It is, but that's the win.
It is.
That's the win. Not perfect.
You can see how uncomfortable it's making me.
Yeah. It's not 100%. It's not perfect, but it frees you up.
Yeah. Beasts get degrees.
This is how you start going to the next level. You start freeing yourself up to do other things. And step 4 is if you've ever said, they just don't do it like I would. That's not a people problem. That is a systems problem. You need to record yourself doing it, explain it, and then create a process and be done with it.
There is a reason, if my brand new coaches are listening to this, there is a reason you've been with me for at least 2 months before handling your first client. There's a reason. Twofold. I want you to be amazing. You already are great. I want you to be amazing. And it frees up my time when I'm done. Because you've now trained my client.
But you did exactly that. You basically recorded yourself, you explained it, and you created a process, and you're done. You move on.
Yeah.
So step 5 in this.
Step 5.
Yeah, jump into that one.
Pick one thing this week. Just one. Again, we're not getting judgy. Pick one. Maybe it's something that's not super difficult. Pick an easy one. Just one. I need you to ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I don't need to? And then let it go. Yeah? This is exactly where people get stuck in fitness. They can't see their own blind spots, right? Newsflash, everyone's shit stinks. They don't know what to simplify, what to focus on, what actually matters.
Yeah, and I'll throw in a story that from last week at our convention.
Tell me.
Yeah, we had a breakout group and we were talking about.
Was this the owner's breakout?
No.
Got it.
No, this is the full set. Everyone was in there.
Oh, yeah. The tables.
Yeah, I sat at a table, and this table was focused on revenue and expenses. And it was, where can we trim up expenses? Where can we create more revenue? And we're basically at a table with owners and managers, and we're sharing ideas and going through things. And the moderator said, who all at this table does their own bookkeeping?
No, I remember the story.
Yep. And I'm sitting to the right of the moderator, and he starts on the left, and he goes through about, I think there's like 7 or 8 people that are, it gets all the way around. Everyone's like, yeah, I do it. It's QuickBooks. It's easy. I don't know. It gets to me. And I go, I have a firm stake in the ground on this. You are a gym owner, not a fucking bookkeeper. Turn that over to someone. And that's kind of the premise of this. I know you just talked about a fitness one, but there are things in your life that you did that you had to do maybe because you couldn't pay someone. But you're now at another level, and you cannot get to the next level by doing everything yourself.
I have one to share.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Are you ready for a growth moment for me?
Yeah.
Because I had some growth last week. I do our own payroll.
You don't do it all of it, though.
I have somebody that enters it once I've figured it.
Okay.
And I'm ready to let it go. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm ready to delegate it. And I think the reason I held on to it for so long was I had a deep, deep belief that my employees respected me more if I was figuring their paychecks. Like, think about where that stemmed from. And just this, like, I need to prove to you that I'm spending a ton of time making sure you are paid properly.
Yeah, I think we had, it's probably a zoom out moment for you that we talked about earlier.
It was a huge zoom out moment because it was my ego.
Yeah.
It's my ego, like, holding on to this. I don't need to be doing payroll. It takes me 3 hours every 2 weeks. I don't need to. I can pay somebody to do it. Yeah. And they'll treat it with the exact same care because it's their paycheck.
Yeah. But the same thing goes for investing. I'll transition back to that. People know they should be building wealth. They should be doing these things. They know they should be investing, but they hesitate. It's the same thing. You hesitate for many different reasons. It's not because they don't understand a system. It's because they're afraid to do something different and let go. So here's the question I would leave you with is kind of tying this together. Where are you the bottleneck in your life? Do those steps that we gave you and figure out where you're the bottleneck. Where are you holding on to things, just as such Jen said, the payroll thing? Where are you holding on to things that they're actually holding you back?
And you may not have like a deep aha moment as to why you're holding on to them for so long. But what would your life look like if you just let one of those things go this week?
I know you get an extra 3 hours back.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the goal isn't to hold on to everything. The goal is to build something that works. And even when you're not gripping it, you're not overwhelmed and you're not overloading. You just got to let go to move to the next level.
Love. All right, friends, we're going to wrap. Ooh, I thought we were going to go 25 minutes. We're at a cool 19. Excellent. Friends, you know what to do. Make sure you share this with someone you think will find value in it. Make sure you subscribe. Do all the things. Give us 5 stars. Maybe give Matt a high five if you see him in public. All right. We'll talk to you next time.